stopping by Living to Do's review. We're going to review a new show that we haven't done before. It's Power Book 2 Ghost. It's season 2, episode 1. The name of the episode is Free Will is Never Free. Today I'm going to be joined by someone else, and we're going to talk about um, this episode. Okay, let's start with Tyreek.
All right.
Okay, Tyreek, we see is at his home, his family home that his grandmother and his little sister live in. He's there, and his little sister's in the kitchen apparently cooking, and she starts a fire in the kitchen. And he and her sister calls out for help. Tyreek goes in and he sees that there's a fire. He acts quick. He goes to the refrigerator, gets the baking powder, and um, gets the fire out. He comforts his little sister, and his grandmother comes in. Uh, she didn't know what was going on. She's upset that there was a fire started. Um, and she seems a little disoriented. She didn't realize that Tyreek had been in the house since the night before. And I thought she might have been suffering from dementia. When she leaves, Tyreek asked his little sister, uh, "Has she been drinking?" And she says it's getting worse. So I don't know if she's really been drinking or maybe it's dementia. We don't know.
All I know is his little sister better not be burning no bacon.
Grandma wants it crispy, but she don't want it burnt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In the next scene, we see Monet, played by Mary J. Blige. Just not a really fan of her acting. It's kind of so one dimensional. But we see her. She's looking at some books. She hears a sound. She grabs her gun, and she goes through the house. And she's pointing a gun at her son, who happens to be in the kitchen. Apparently, he dropped something. Um, and uh, she says something like, "Oh, you scared me." He says, "I was just trying to get some water for his antibiotics because he had just gone out of the hospital after being shot." He gives his mother some type of attitude, it seems, and we find out later he's giving her attitude because he blames her for being shot in the first place. Um, Diane enters the scene. That is Monet's daughter. And I have to say, I think Monet is really pretty, don't you?
You mean Diane?
Yeah, I mean, sorry, you're right.
Diane. Yeah.
I think Diane is really pretty.
She's very attractive.
Okay, all right. Okay, let's see here. Next scene, we see a new character. I guess he's being introduced to us. This new character is with Kane. The character's name is Mecca. He's played by Daniel Sinjata. He played in a lot of other shows, Graceland, most recently Notorious. Always a good-looking guy. Anyway, he's in the scene. He's talking to Kane and LG. They walk out of a building or some warehouse or something and into an alley where They're met with three guys. Was it three guys
Yeah,
or two
from
guys
GTG.
from the GTG gang?
Get that guap.
Get that guap. Mm. Um, the guys are pointing guns at Mecca, Kane, and LG. Mecca makes a fast move and he grabs one of the guns from one of the guys and he shoots him in the leg. And the other guys, they're shot at too, or they're shot dead, or they run away.
At first, Mecca hits two of them with the shotgun,
Uh-huh.
and then Kane starts shooting at the car that's at the end of the alley,
Yeah.
and then Mecca finishes him off with a shotgun.
Okay, and the guy that was in the car, he gets away
Yeah.
for
But then-
now.
for now.
So he gets away. Uh, so I think when Mecca shoots him, didn't he say something like, um,
Mecca shoots him, and then he asks Lil Guap and Kane if they know him. And Lil Guap says, "I used to know him."
Yeah.
And then Kane says, "Oh, we used to have beef." And then Mecca's like, "Not anymore."
not anymore. And then after that, did LG and Mecca say? I'm not Mecca. did Kane and LG say that he's not a narc?
Oh, I think Kane asked him, and he's like, "Oh, I guess not."
Yeah,
But
because he did
we
the
don't
killing.
know.
Yeah, because he's acting fishy
Yeah,
throughout. That's just his first scene. In the next scene, we see that Davis, Method Man, played by Method Man, is meeting with Soledad O'Brien, played by the real Soledad O'Brien. I guess he's going to be interviewed for something or other, and Sachs, Cooper Sachs, is with him. Cooper Sachs now works for um, McLean. Oh my God, is his name Davis or McLean?
Davis McLean.
Oh, Davis McLean. His first name is Davis.
Yes,
Okay, very good. Thank you for that. Okay, so when 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 Davis introduced uh,
Cooper.
Cooper Sachs to Soledad O'Brien, he introduced him as an associate. When she later walks away, Cooper goes to Davis, why did I thought we were partners? Why did you say I was an associate? He goes, your name is on the building. It says McLean and Associates. He's such a smart ass. I love him.
He's funny.
Method Man is perfect, perfect. Rapper, performer, actor. He is entertaining. And he looks good for 50 some odd years old. He's a good looking man. Okay. During during the his little talk with Sachs, he gets a call from Tyreek. Tyreek asks for Davis to find his mother, who's in witness the protection program. Um, Later gets off the phone. He tells Sachs that it was Tyreek on the phone, that he wants uh, help looking for his mother. Sachs doesn't think he should find his mother because he says he killed his father. He's probably going to kill his mother too. And Davis says that Tyreek wouldn't hurt a strand of hair on his mother's weave. So he doesn't think that Tyreek will hurt his mom. Later, we see Tyreek and Lauren trying to go to their class, but their teacher's not there. They're talking outside the door. And they had a conversation, and Tyreek says that he mentions that his mother is in the witness protection program. Um, Later, they go into class where the teacher, Carrie, is going to teach the class in the absence of Mr. Reynolds. Everybody's looking for Mr. Reynolds, Jabari Reynolds. Um, but since he's not there, she takes over the class, and their discussion is free will and, and an illusion. And they have a class discussion about that. Tyreek has some good answers on it. Little debates within the classroom with the other classmates. Later, we see Monet go shopping with Diane for designer items. They get a lot of designer items, and the main thing is that it is they need the designer name bags
Well,
because
they'd really need the box.
they need the box and the bags, I guess, so they can put bricks in it, and the bricks is drugs. Okay, so
Snow,
snow.
as Tariq's grandma said.
She says the snow. Um, then later we see the Tate brothers, Congressman Tate, who's played by Lorenz Tate, and his brother, whoever, I can't think of his brother's name, and his brother is a cop. Tate has been living with his brother for a while now, and his brother's getting mad at him because he's lying around, messing up his home, not cleaning up after himself. So his brother gets on him and tells him he needs to be looking for a job. The next scene we have Monet car is surrounded by cops. Monet's out in one of the stores, and Diane is in the driver's seat, and Monet is across the street, and she sees that the cops are talking to Diane in the car, and she's real concerned because was there drugs in the car at the time?
Yeah, they put the bricks in the
Yes.
designer bags and
Yeah.
boxes and stuff.
So it was in the car as the cops were talking to Diane. So of course Monet across the street is scared because if her daughter got arrested with all that, she'd do life if the cops knew.
And you could tell Monet was scared because she's approaching the Porsche and she's grabbing her pistol
Yeah,
about to pull it out.
I pull it out in broad daylight. She was about to shoot cops. I don't know. She gangster. Um, the next scene we see Tyreek going to a family event
With Braden.
with Braden. It's his father's event. His frat brothers are there. Um, there was a scene where there was a book, like a yearbook, passed around, and Tyreek starts to look at the book, the yearbook, and Braden's brother. What was his name again? I can't.
Trace?
Trace. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's
Trace.
Trace.
Trace takes the yearbook from Tyreek, saying, "You shouldn't be looking at this unless you pledge Kappa." Um, and I think he said to his brother Braden, "You shouldn't have brought him here."
Yeah, he does.
Um, so in this little meeting, there was a Congressman Sweeney there. I guess they're honoring him, or he's there. I don't know, but he's there in some capacity.
I think he's friends with Braden's
He's
dad or
friends with Brady.
something.
He must have been a frat brother.
Yeah.
Um, so he must have pledged Kappa. Okay, so they have a little Congressman Sweeney speaks to Tyreek, and he says something like, "Oh, I think it was Tyreek was kind of dismissing being in the internship program."
Yeah.
And Sweeney says, "Oh, you should really think about that. Because basically we can help someone like you, like in the diverse program." Right off the bat, he doesn't know this guy from Adam. This is a white congressman talking to Black Tariq, talking automatically, assuming he's in a diverse program. Right there is microaggressions. It's just every day people just realize you got to just point this out to when people speak to you like this and let them know what they're really doing. You're just assuming that this kid is underprivileged and needs your help. When he got to school and it's paid for by his dad's, what did he say? Trust or something?
His trust.
Yeah. And he's like, "Who's your dad?" And Tyreek tells the congressman that his dad was James St. Patrick. And the guy Congressman Sweeney knew of his dad. In fact, he met him at a DNC.
When Ghost was running for mayor or something.
Yeah, political office. And they get into this conversation about, he says, "I hope what they said about your father after he died isn't true," which it got out to the public on the news that he was affiliated with drugs and things like that. And Tyreek told him that prescription drugs are more deadlier than illegal drugs. And he said something it's just that rich white daughters of these political influencers make their drugs legal. That's big pharma. And when he said that, the way that the congressman kind of backed down, because Tyreek asked him, "How much money are you getting money from big pharma?" And that's when the guy kind of backed down, and he didn't say anything. He didn't say no. It's just the way he looked, you knew something's up there. Okay, so later we see the next scene that they found the body of Professor Reynolds. And they found out that he was shot by Ramirez's gun. That was the bad cop from last season. But they found it right there. I mean, a telltale sign is if a cop did that, he wouldn't just leave his gun there.
Seriously.
Yeah. Did they know? They never found him. They don't even know where Ramirez is. So they don't even...
They just know that he's been missing work.
He's been missing, yeah. So that's happening. Okay. So Lorenz Tate's character, um, Councilman Tate, goes to the DNC rep's house. I guess he's trying to talk to him about maybe being his campaign manager or something for a seat. And the seat that he wants is Congressman Sweeney's seat. And the DNC rep says that that guy is clean. He's been there forever. The only way he's getting off that seat if there's dirt on him. A light bulb goes on in Tate's head, so that's just foreshadowing. We know that's going to be a whole thing with Tate and Sweeney in future episodes. Um, the detective on the Jabari Reynolds case, his name is Kevin, and he has asked out, I guess, Carrie, the teacher at the college, he's asked her out for a date. So I guess they had been talking before the murder of Reynolds and all that. It was already something planned. So she's excited. We see her walking down the street talking to somebody, excited about the date that she's going to go on with this guy. She thinks this guy's a good guy, and she thinks something real could happen between them.
I think she was talking to like one of her old friends, and I think she said that they used to date before she
She did say
dated
that?
the professor that just died.
Oh, did she say that? Okay.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so she meets up with him. He's walking out like of the coffee shop as she's approaching the coffee shop, and he has a change of plans for her. Little does she know, their first date, if you can call it that, he takes her to the morgue to identify the body of Professor Reynolds. Right?
Something else.
You
Some
know?
date.
Some first date. Of course she's upset, and as she's identifying the body, and he thinks it's they had more of a personal relationship and not just coworkers, and she admits that they used to date. He asked her for a list of students, I guess in his class, particularly the ones that were involved in questioning of the young man that was killed at the pool on college campus last season. Next, we see Monet. Monet has a plan. She tells her kids to get out of the drug dealing life. And that plan is Zeke. Zeke is the new product. Zeke is the nephew of Monet, and he plays college basketball on the campus there. And she wants him to go pro. That's the new product. And that's what she thinks should be done to get her and her two kids out of the life. In this episode, Tyreek has a burner phone. He's been trying to reach his mother on this burner phone, and he puts the battery in and out, and he checks to see if she's texted him or anything like that. No text from her. So throughout the episode, we see him checking the phone. No text from mom so far. Then he's in his dorm room when he does that. He gets a guest. The guest is Lauren, his classmate, the girl he kind of likes and somewhat involved in. She comes in, and she's the one that tells Tyreek about the Professor Reynolds, that he was found dead. And as she's telling him all this, she's noticing that Tyreek is not bothered. Seemingly he's not bothered, and Tyreek reminds her of all the loss he's experienced in a short period of time. So it makes sense to her why he's not all emotional. But little does she know that Tyreek is the one who shot Professor Reynolds dead. At the same time, he gets a call from Kane, and Kane is the other person who was involved with the killing, or he was there at the time of the shooting to kill Reynolds. So in the next scene, we have Kane meeting up with Tyreek, and he tells Tyreek not to tell Monet about him killing the professor. But Monet said, and she's made it very clear last season, that Tyreek is not to lie to her. But Kane, Monet's son, is telling Tyreek to lie. Mm. So I think she calls, I think, well, later what we see, oh, next we actually see Zeke go to Carrie's house. Carrie's the teacher,
The ethics teacher.
the ethics teacher. He goes over there and they're both upset because they lost, he lost his teacher, his professor. She lost her coworker, former love interest. But they get together and they've been seeing each other uh, intimately. And she's the teacher, he's the student, she's the ethics teacher.
So is the one that just passed away.
Yeah,
The two ethics teachers.
people, all these ethics, and they're all the ones doing unethical things. Um, so Tyreek goes to dinner at Monet's house. I think she invited him over for dinner, and that's where she asked him about the killing of the professor, if he had any involvement, and Tyreek says no, he didn't have any involvement. So he lied to Monet. And what did you
And
say?
Drew and Diana know that he's lying, but they didn't say nothing.
Okay. So while he's at Monet's house, Monet gives him bags, the designer bags full of the drugs. Outside of Monet's house is Braden. He's there to receive the drugs. He's very excited that
He's
they're
more,
back in business.
yeah, he's more excited about the bricks than he is about his brand new Benz. That doesn't make no sense.
He has all the money in the world. This is this rich kid who I don't know, is he living in like that rap life, wanting to be a drug dealer and hard and whatnot? You have everything. Why
He has
risk
no reason.
to losing it all? What is that? It's just so dumb. It's just dumb. Um, uh, Later we see that Kane is with Mecca. They're in some like airplane hangar, and Mecca, he captured the guy, the gang member who got away in the car. He captured him. He has him tied up in this hangar, and he tells Kane to kill him. Kane begins to beat him up. He's tied up. Kane unties him. He beats him up, and they fight, and Kane snaps his neck. Dead. He's dead. So I think Mecca might be impressed by that for him to do business. I actually think Mecca is undercover. I don't.
He's got to be a narc.
Something's up with him.
He's got to be.
Just up. Let's talk about it. Okay. So Braden had he asked Tyreek to go hunting with him and his family and some family friends. And they go deer hunting in the woods. And was it snowing? In snow.
Yeah.
And Tyreek really doesn't want to go, but he ends up going to this Wright family's deer hunting excursion. And as that's happening, we see Monet is pressing Zeke to go pro so she can, get out of the life.
What's her ticket out?
Mm-hmm. And then we go back to Tyreek and the forest or the woods. The family shot a deer, and as they shot at the deer, the bullet goes right past Malik.
Tariq.
I mean, Tyreek, not Malik. That was a real close call. I don't know if they really tried to shoot him or.
I think they tried to scare him.
Because...
And they got way too close.
Way too close. And all through this episode, we hear music.
I don't know what's going on, but they got some type of deal with Squid Game. All throughout the episode, you hear that little Squid Game sound. And then when Tariq's looking at the deer, you hear the little sound, and then he has like a little PTSD flash.
Yeah.
Of like Ghost and like the Professor Reynolds and stuff, yeah. And
somebody, this Braden comes up and finishes off that deer, kills him dead. Now we see Davis McLean, played by Method Man. He goes to a jail. There's a guy he meets in jail. He references his brother. I don't know if it's his brother on the show, or just, a brother somebody is close to. And the person that he visits in jail is played by Redman, their real life rap group. They do a really good job acting. I
Yeah,
really enjoyed them both.
it's very authentic.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
believe them in their characters. Um, who is it? Oh, Kane. Kane goes to his mother's house, Monet, at night. He's knocking on the door, and she's telling him to get away. He brings trouble, so she's telling him to get away. She doesn't let him in. He goes off, but we see across the street is Mecca in a car, and he followed Kane over there. I don't know, we don't know what his deal is yet. If he's narc, if he's just a real drug uh, big kingpin. He says he knew earlier. He mentioned that he knew of Kane's family name. What is it, Tahara or something?
Sahara.
Yeah, Tahara. He knew of it, but he didn't know their father, who was in prison for drugs.
I would think that he would have to be a narc because if he's just a connect, they would have known about him
Yeah,
because just being in the same circle and
yeah.
stuff, you hear about stuff like
And
that.
he's
So
that big and everything.
yeah, like the amount of weight he has, you would
Yeah,
assume they would know him, but they don't know him, so he has to be a narc. There's no
yeah.
way.
Or playing dumb. Something's going on. It's going to be interesting to find out what that's all about. The last scene, we see Tariq playing with that burner phone again to see if his mother has texted, left a message. And when he puts the battery back in the phone, he gets a call. And I guess Tyreek thinks it's his mother. That's why he answers it. But it's actually the cop, Kevin. Um, and Tyreek, uh, he turns the phone off quickly, takes the battery off out of the phone. But little does he know, the phone was traced. They know that the call was accepted at the college. So they think, the killer is um,
At the school
at the
grounds.
school grounds. So that's basically it for this episode. Any thoughts on this?
I think it's gonna be an amazing season. I'm very excited.
Okay, all right. And I want to thank everybody stopping by to listen to our take on Power Book 2 Ghost, episode 1 of season 2. And we plan on doing this review of this show every week. So please come back and join us. Please subscribe and like and share this video. We would really appreciate it. We thank you so much. And we'll see you next week. We got to go because we got living to do. Goodbye.